All the content contained in this webcast is for informational purposes only. The investments and strategies contained in this webcast may not be suitable for you. Please consult your own independent financial advisor before making any investment or trading decisions. Good morning, traders and investors around the world, and welcome to Friday's unemployment edition of premarketinfo.com, where we prepare you for the most important hour of the day, the first hour. Well, Dennis, looks like we had a wild close in a few stocks, and some of the selling from the close is carried over into the pre-market.
Has it ever, Joel? We are down another 15 points this morning ahead of the jobs number. We're ahead of the jobs number right now, and then we got the jobs report coming out, so expect some major volatility at 8:30.
Okay, folks, we got some good numbers for you down here. What else would you expect from pre-market info? 1287 and a quarter has been the low of the move. It was a Globex low, so keep an eye on that. 1291.50 is what we've hit in the pre-market. Seems to be stemming the tide for now. Below 1287 and a quarter, folks. Katie bar the door. We're going to 1250. It's as big as numbers we've had in months. Coming back on the upside, I'm sure if we get back near that 1300, Dennis, there's going to be some sell orders there. Speaking of the close and the carry through, Dennis, what the heck happened to ExxonMobil on the close?
We had some rebalancing going on, month-end rebalancing, and ExxonMobil was affected here. Fell over a buck in the last 10 minutes. Actually came out at 3:45. Those imbalances come out. The imbalances published out there by the NYSE. It actually showed a little positive imbalance, but then it turned, faked everyone out, and actually had a huge sell imbalance of over 1 million shares and drove the price down. We can see it right here on the chart in the last 10 minutes. Drove the price down over a buck. So that's more order flow based. Usually those moves tend to somewhat retrace themselves, but the problem is we're down 15 more points. So ExxonMobil is obviously getting follow through here too, taking out yesterday's low right over there at 78.41, moving a lot lower here in the pre-market at 77.95. But keep in mind there's probably 50, 60 cents. So we're down 1.18% on the S&P. This should probably be down over a buck if it was in pure sympathy with that. It's only down about 65 cents because the move at the end of the day was a little bit overdone.
Okay, 78.43 is going to be your number, Dennis. 78.41, excuse me. Thursday's low and the close is right on that in that area as well. So any kind of rally in the pre-market, if you're getting long here or when the market opens, look for resistance at 78.50. And folks that are long ExxonMobil, I did some research this morning and it just doesn't look good for support. I have some minor stopping points. I'm sure it won't get to 76.14 today, but that was a low back on November 29th, Dennis, and whoo-hoo, yikes.
Starting to get ugly. It's starting to look like a breakdown. I mean, oil itself has been breaking down. The USO has been breaking down here for days, Joel. So you've got all these oil stocks under pressure. And again, here is the same story this morning. I got Chevron in the pre-market too, Joel. It's down over $1 again at 97.07 after closing at 98.31. So it's just really tough for the oil stocks across the board here again today. Yesterday's low on Chevron was 96.68. I'd keep an eye on that number in the pre-market. What's your take on Chevron?
Same thing, Dennis. That made a new low of the move. You pointing out that 96.68 is a good number. 95.75 was also a low that you had back in November. But the main number for Chevron on the downside, and like I said, I don't think we'll see it today. Your low on November 28th. Was 95 even. I don't know if you can remember back that far, Dennis, but that was the old Thanksgiving overnight Globex rally trick where they pumped everything up when the actual markets were closed, so it forced everything to to open higher and run, and that was the low the day before the Thanksgiving. So coming back on the upside though, Dennis, keep an eye on the close 98.31. That should be good resistance.
Wow. Apple actually held up a little bit, sold off yesterday. Really interesting chart from it yesterday. I'll just bring it up here for you guys. We sold off early on yesterday. We're down over our almost $8-9. Rallied all the way back up. It flirted a couple of times with the high there from the day before, but then sold off towards the end of the day. I think a lot of stocks sold off in the last 10 minutes yesterday. But Apple is breaking down here again today. So now you have this like whole 581, 582 double triple top thing, going on. It's starting to break down. I had to keep an eye on yesterday's low, which was that 571.46. We're 572.50 right now, so we're not too far away from there. So for all you Apple traders, what do you think, Joel?
I mean, it's still holding up. I mean, the relative strength on this thing is really good because when the SPOOs were down here before at this 1290, 1294 level, this stock was at 530, Dennis.
That's true. It's a good
yeah,
point,
so
Joel.
it's 42 points higher. I would keep an eye on Thursday's low. I don't think that's going to be able to hold up. I think the selling is going to take it a little bit lower than that today. It's kind of scary if you take out that 571.46, Dennis, because I don't have good levels down to Tuesdays and Wednesdays low. But something tells me it's going to stop in between there. Coming on the upside, Dennis, we always talk about the close and the importance of people getting out at the mark. Good resistance at the close, 577.73.
Talking about a stock that bounced yesterday, though, Facebook. That thing, I'm going to bring up the chart here for you right now. What a bounce yesterday. We were talking that this is going to have a short squeeze eventually, and that's exactly what happened here. You can say whatever, there's some news, but really it was, everybody's massively bearish this thing. It starts to take off, starting to find a bottom here for about 2 hours in the or in the high 26s, 26.85 area. Started to get above that 27 and just took off in the last hour. Rallied over $2.50 in the last hour, squeezing those shorts. Got up to 29.60, pulling back here a bit this morning, but 29.12. But not too bad considering how much the market is down overall, and this stock is really volatile. I'd expect the 30 area maybe to give you a little hiccup here, but I don't know. You think we can get a 2-day rally in this thing going?
Well, Dennis, not everyone is bearish, Facebook.
Joel. You still think it's going up there or what?
I don't know. I have not purchased a stock yet for all you people that want to make fun of me off my articles and everything. I have not purchased a stock yet. I will let you know when I do. Obviously, this 26.83, the low of the move, that's huge. Did get a short covering. One thing of note here for our traders, that this was the second highest volume day of this stock. So, it's definitely a key thing with the volume being up. Still looking at 30.94. That held up as the low for several days. That's going to be major resistance. With the market down this much, I think it's going to be a little bit tougher for it to get there. I'd be looking to try the 28.70 level for a low risk buy, meaning that I'll put a stop in a little bit below that. And then, of course, you got the low of the move down there. But I still like to see I hate buying it, 3 points off the low of the move, so maybe we'll get a little bit of a pullback. But we got any market movers, Dennis, on this big day?
Yeah, actually, there's one good one here. Nobody doesn't like Sara Lee, and the market's liking it today. They announced whole bunch of news here. Announced a spin-off, announced a $3 special dividend, announced a 1-for-5 reverse split after the spin-off, so news all over the place in this one. Stock is trading up. It was trading up better last night after they announced this, but I mean, the market's being down as much as it is right now. It's putting pressure even on this. 21.60 is where it's trading right now, so it is up 70 cents for 21.59. Just traded some more 21.54 there. So it is up yesterday. Or actually not yesterday, but looking back to the high of the move, 22.35 has been the high. This whole 22 area, I'd expect that to be some initial resistance, and after that, look at that 22.35. This stock, when you have this much news on something, it could really move. I don't think the market's going to have that much impact, so it all depends on what everybody thinks of special dividend and everything. Wouldn't surprise me if this stock gets up there and tries to challenge that 52-week high, Joel.
Do they still make the butter streusel coffee cake?
Maybe. It sounds pretty good, man.
Yeah, I used to eat that a lot as a kid for breakfast. A little bit sweet. But you did get a pop up to 22.50 in the pre-market, Dennis. Not a lot of volume associated with this move. 22 looks like good resistance. 2201, 2202 kept the lid on it at the beginning of the month, so I think a little bit of volume will be there. Coming back on the downside, since we've hit that 2250, we've settled in at this 2150 level. Looking at yesterday's range, we need to get down to 2112 in order to get into yesterday's range. So usually when there's this much news on a stock, special dividends and whatnot, it's usually even for Sarah Lee is going to have a pretty wild trade. But let's keep an eye on the 2150 to 2250 as support and resistance.
Clorox is getting upgraded there last night, actually, after the close. Citigroup upgraded it. It traded up a bit after the close, is trading up here again now, Joel. 69.10, so, and it's offered 69.08. Widespread, though, but it looks like it could be, hold up okay here today. We're down 14 points right now. Stock is trading higher, so maybe if you can get, a chance to buy this one near the settlement price, 68.80, or even near yesterday's low there at 68.65, maybe it'd be a good opportunity for you to get in on the Citigroup upgrade, Joel.
Citigroup, other places that cover stocks like this, I mean, what do they think? That all of a sudden people are going to start bleaching their clothes more?
I know. These staples, I mean, let's look at the 6-month chart. The thing's been between 67 and 70. This thing, just doesn't go, far. So if you think this thing's going to go up $2 on an upgrade, it's not. But, it could get a little bit of a lift up here. These, like your Kellogg's, your Clorox, even going as far as your Coca-Colas and stuff, these stocks just have lower betas. They don't move around quite as much, obviously, and they're more conservative plays. These are defensive stocks. Sometimes, actually, when the market's down, we've been saying this, it's stocks like this that actually hold up okay or actually have up days because money's coming out of the riskier assets going into the defensives, and Clorox is the definition of a defensive stock, Joel.
Yeah, I mean, it did have some movement when Icon was messing around with it and then
Right.
pulled out. So, I mean, is some, upside to that. But looking at the pre-market, Dennis, we popped up to 69.28. And actually, no, in the pre-market, we've only got to 69.25. 69.28 was yesterday's high, so that will be confirmation here of excellent resistance. Above that, I mean, you got some highs going all the way up to the $70 level. 70.07 was a 4-day high, so I'd look at that as major resistance.
A couple stocks that have been getting killed, Caterpillar and Deere. I just want to talk about the Caterpillar stock chart. Looks awful here, Joel. Broke down through the $90 support area there yesterday and hasn't, a gap down. Really had a rough day. Having a rough day again. It's down another buck here today. You got to almost go out to the weeklies to try to find some support here. We'll let Joel do that though. And I just want to mention Deere as well. Same thing, breaking down through the key 75 support area. We can find a little bit more support here. We go on Deere. We can look at that 71.86 area, which was the low on May 17th. We are trading 70. Well, we're not actually having had any trades in the pre-market here. Best bid 72.27 to 73.47, but I'd imagine Deere is going to be weaker again with this overall market sell-off, unless we have a good jobs number and something happens after that.
Okay, look at the cat on the prowl, Dennis. 86.29 is the level you got to keep an eye on. Trading 86.40 in the pre-market. That was the low you had back in December. You got a little bounce off 86.05 in the pre-market, so keep an eye on that area. 86 up to this 86.30 level. Might be a little bit better area to cover a short before trying to actually pick a bottom in this. But I do like that 86 level. Looking at John Deere, this thing of course is coming down. We do have some good support at this stock at 73.23. That was the low back in December. Looking at the pre-market activity into Deere, boy, this thing's consolidating here after making a low. It's just sitting here at 73.87, Dennis. Really, very few trades in the pre-market. Someone's definitely making a stand here, and that coincides with the close yesterday. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. This stock seems to be holding in there.
One more stock I want to talk about. We've had one of our listeners there on our YouTube channel saying we don't talk about Google. So going out, we're going to talk about Google here right at the end. We haven't talked about Google in a while. We were covering it there for a bit. He actually had a pretty good call. He was saying shorted a couple days ago. Actually, is moving, has been moving down here for the last couple days. So hopefully, he is short the stock. It took out that 600 area a few days ago. Joel was trying to find some support there. Obviously, the last 3-4 days been moving down. We're down significantly on Google today, Joel. Down $6, trading at 574.90. You go back to February, you had a low of 564.55. Is that where we're heading, Joel?
Looking in the pre-market, just give those parameters. We have hit a low of 572.23. You are looking at the 569.33, Dennis, and we're still $5 away from that. That was the January 27th low. The low on the 30th was 573.40. So let's call that whole 570 area pretty good support. But Dennis, you got the daily up there. You see that high right there? 637.85.
Yeah.
Do you know what day that was made on?
Well, it says May 17th. What was May
Well,
17th?
what happened that day?
I don't know, Joel. I'm a day trader. I can't
Come
remember that
on,
far
man.
back.
Get
What
with
happened?
it.
What happened? Tell me.
That was the day they announced good earnings.
Oh, that was a good earnings day. Right, right,
And it
right.
actually traded like 670 in the
Oh,
pre-market.
yeah, I do remember that. And it never even touched it, though, in the regular session, though.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
went
So,
straight down ever
folks,
since.
yep. So, but looking at this, looking at the Google, the low for the year is 564.55. We cut through that 570 level. Any closing thoughts on the market,
Just
Dennis?
get ready for this jobs number. We got that in a few minutes, so we'll try to tweet some analysis afterwards. Any other closing thoughts you got, Joel?
Just 1287 and a quarter, folks. I can't drive that number into your head enough. If it breaks below there, yeah, you can get a little bit giddy that we're really going down today. But if it comes back above there, have some tight stops. We've already coming in on the average daily range, so we'll see if this is going to be the black swan day that many people are looking for. We'll talk to you guys on Monday.